Business. We'll tell you about his latest venture. And also, Shaq calls cap on Wilt Chamberlain's famous claim of smashing 20,000 women.
That's a real smash alert. And Rosie Perez says Mike Tyson swooped in to save her sister like Superman. We got the deets on that and so much more.
Welcome to Side Dish.
Boom, boom, boom. Atlanta, Tokyo, whatever that city is. Tokilantio. All right, what's up, guys? Here at Side Dish, hey, thanks for joining us, by the way. We are more than an appetizer when it comes to pop culture and fun. We are the whole meal. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Yeah, man. Take the little to-go plate with you, man. Buckle up and enjoy this ride. Let's cut to the chase. Let's dive into the feed,
right into it. Okay, we got a little feed for you. Okay, now we have shown you that dogs can be groomed in extreme manners by dyeing their hair in coats and their bright colors, right? We had that just the other day. But now I want you to take a look at how one woman's dog might have HK missing his locks.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I feel like a bad mom. Sosa has not had a retwist since March. I usually retwist his hair like every month, but life been lifing. I literally just finished my first semester back to school in 5 years. Like, I was not ready. But anyways, we start with a massage. Do not use as much coconut oil as I did, because that was crazy. So I just put his hair up to keep it out the way. We gotta start with a little hug, whatever. This man is so obsessed with me. Oh, I love him. And look at all that new growth. So thankfully his hair wasn't like matted together. But that's a contradiction. Because locks are kind of mats anyways, but y'all get what I'm saying. I'm already knowing there's gonna be that one person to say, why am I matting his hair on purpose? Blah, 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 I'm hurting him, wah, wah, wah. I don't care. I don't care, okay? Y'all just do the research. I'm not addressing that one again. Or maybe just watch some videos or something. This is crazy because this is the fastest I've ever retwisted his hair. Like, I did this in 10 minutes. We didn't do a style today just because he hates this chair and I was not gonna make him sit in it any longer. So I left him with his middle part, even though his hair goes in a ponytail anyway. But he's so cute. Bye.
That's kind of amazing.
Yo, why that dog look like Lana Wachowski?
No. Well,
yeah,
she's the one
that had the dreads.
Yeah.
Do you think she had to give the dog an edible to get it to be calm for that whole process? Because, you know, we're doing sewing extensions. We're doing a lot there.
There's a lot going on. I don't know what all it takes to put in locks, but I would imagine to get an animal to sit for it is wild.
Yeah, you got to, like, promise that dog a lot and also, you know, make good on said promise in order for it to be that calm. People got patience, man.
Yeah. I also like the way she was like, I do not care what you say in the comments. Like, respect to that. I've been seeing that sentiment more and more in people's posts. Because, like, everybody's hating on something.
Yeah. They'll hate on a newborn baby if given the opportunity to. So if that's what makes you happy, you do you, boo. And go ahead, lock away. Dog Marley.
Yeah, Dog Marley. The dog didn't look upset either. The dog looked like he was having a great time. So.
That's why I think that doggy edible came into play. Because, you know, you go to some of these CBD spots, they be having, like, stuff for you and stuff for them.
Yep.
And you just got to take their word for it, that whatever's in there is what they say is in there.
Is theirs cheaper than ours? And should we be buying theirs for the discount?
Man, if people find out like dog CBD and THC was cheaper than human THC, listen, man. People going the infused milk bone.
Yeah, right.
Or what was that, pepperoni?
Pepperoni, yeah.
Oh, man, that stuff looked like human edible when I would see the commercials. Well, switching gears, super producer Timbaland, he's catching heat online after announcing that he has launched a new AI entertainment company, and he debuted his first AI artist by the name of Tata.
Oh.
Now, he shared this photo with the caption, thinking bigger, but still inclusive. A lot of people are waving their hands. I don't know, I always get in that Timbaland argue that somebody mode. But anyway, a lot of people are saying that this is not the move because this will put human musicians out of work. AI is taking over, but do we like the idea? Because so much qualifies as AI.
Yeah.
Like, you look stuff up on Google, low-key, that's AI at work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what is he? So my question would be like, what is the AI part of this? Because Timbaland makes music. Is the artist the AI and Timbaland is still making the music? Or, you know, you use AI more than I do, and I use like ChatGPT every day.
Yeah, like I'm using every aspect of AI just to expedite the process because it's your assistant, it's your buddy when you know how to work it and tweak it. And all you got to do is get the generic image. Like say like, all right, if this is the artist, Tata, right? You can take that image, all right, now style her with blue hair. And there's like an app, whether it's ChatGPT or whatever, that can do it, make this artist move, dance, do this thing, give her the same hair that you saw in the last dog that we talked about. Like AI can do all that stuff muy rapido, and then the voices, once you train the AI to know a certain voice, You can use that voice every time.
Really?
Yeah.
So I saw two things that are kind of connected to this. One of them is there's this website, I think it was called Art List or something like that, and it was a stock photography website where, like, you know, if you were out filming the mountains for whatever reason, and some show was set in the mountains, but they couldn't go to the mountains, they could buy your stock video of the mountains, and they'd have to pay you a little money. But that was like a stock footage website. And I saw a guy this morning post that he had made thousands and thousands of dollars with his stock footage on this website. And then the website released their own AI where you just describe the stock footage site, the stock footage you want, and now the site that used to pay artists is now cutting them out. And then I'll hit you with another one on top of this. I was just like scrolling on Instagram, and this dude pops up, and he's in like a ski mask, like a classic criminal ski mask, you know, mouth cut out, eyes cut out. And he's talking about he's like, what you got to do now is make an AI OnlyFans. And so this is a guy teaching how to make digital influencers, digital female influencers, and use them to like have subscriptions and sell stuff like that, which is like kind of like Tata here.
Yeah, it's tricky because there are levels to this. Because like a lot of the programs that we hear promoted, like, you know, the Chat GPTs or whatever, even sites like VO, they're really protective over things that could be like things in the nudity space. But these rogue programs that you could probably find out there that are like, because there's been video, you know, things I've tried to like AI prompt where like one person might not have a shirt on, right? And it's not porn, it's just like, it's a boxer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's a dude in the ring.
Yeah, this is nudity. Yeah, we're not gonna make this thing. And I'm like, but it's a thing. But, you know, and all in all, you know, let's just say if he gets this off the ground and Tata does an AI show, are we pulling up for that?
See, it's interesting because I like the band Gorillaz, right?
Okay.
And like there are actual musicians behind Gorillaz, but if you go to a Gorillaz concert, it's like giant screens with the animated characters.
Yep.
And so what about a Tata show would be different, you know?
No, good point. And like, you know, as a fan, a man fan at that, you have just as much of an opportunity of smashing Tata as you would a real person. Zero to close to none. So
almost none.
Yeah. So go experience that.
That's wild.
And some of your favorite artists, they be out there, but they ain't really doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, their lips moving, but they ain't singing.
They're not doing a whole lot. They're hitting the choreography.
You get the dance.
Or if you're like Daft Punk or like, I don't know, any of those DJs with the giant masks on, I'm like, bro,
is that really them?
You're on the couch right now, and this dude's hitting the moves and acting like he's hitting buttons. He's not doing anything.
It's all AI.
Yeah, I gotta check it out though. Okay, hey, all right, this is a flashback. You remember back in the 90s when Wilt Chamberlain claimed he slept with 20,000 women? Here he is, just for context, here he is on Conan O'Brien back in 1997.
This statement's going to follow you around for a while that you slept with 20,000 women. You made that statement. Now, and I got to say that's the kind of thing that you say, and then people bring it up later on.
Especially
20,000
people
women.
like you, right?
Exactly.
Right,
Well, I mean,
First of all, it was encounters, but you know, I thought maybe one of
The crazy thing about all that is people know more about those stats than his actual NBA stats.
That's true. Isn't he the all-time leading scorer?
I don't know. I know all-time leading scorer with women.
Yeah, I think he's got both of those right now. Okay, well, evidently, listen, it's 20 years later and people are still talking about those claims. Here's what Shaquille Oneal had to say it on the Big Pod with Shaq.
I can't wait for Shaq's book like Wilt Chamberlain when he lists the 10,000 women.
That's impossible. Because first of all, he didn't have no cell phone. So how do you meet 20 women a day? You show up.
You think he was going through the phone book?
Sure, he was in the phone book back then.
If he would have said like 7,000, like I got it documented, 19,411, but he just went straight to 20. The fuck out of here. Ain't nobody busting 7 times a day. Fuck out of here.
7 times a day? Come on.
Wait, so you've done the math on this, Shaq?
I did the math one day, but so I like to simplify it. 1,000 women a year for 20 years. That's what the fuck he did. Who the fuck knows 20,000 people? Nobody. That motherfucker ain't doing no 1,000 women a day for 20. The fuck out of here. Hell no. No way.
Okay, hold on. So I found out how he came out with 20,000. I found an article. Okay.
That was the important part.
Yeah. 1,000 women a year for 20 years. When you say it like that, it starts to come into context.
Yeah, because are we talking a 365-day year or a 5-day a week? Away games, home games, on the road, I mean, because it's not impossible for him to chop down 10 women in one night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you're on the road, especially you go to like a thirsty town, like no shade, but Little Rock. Your opportunities are pretty high there.
So 1,000 women in a year is basically, because it comes down to like fractions or whatever, 2.7 women a day. Every single day. No days off.
Yeah, you can't hit those stats and still be good at basketball.
Right.
Because like, when do you have time to practice?
So in 1 week, that's 19 girls. And like, so now I'm thinking about it like if he's batching, if he's getting it done, like if at the height of his fame, and here's the thing that's so interesting. Okay, 2 levels to this.
Okay.
Shaq's like, no cell phones, not possible. And I see that angle because like cell phone could put you in contact with 20,000 people.
Right.
Wilt Chamberlain would have had millions of followers if he had social media.
Yeah.
So he could certainly tap into a lot like that. But here's the other thing is that's the pre-cell phone days where people are a little more risky sometimes.
Yeah, no, I feel like the lack of cell phone made it easier to move around because I'm sure there was more of a culture back then than it is now to where like, oh, the team's gonna be where? We'll be at this hotel lobby.
Right.
There's no phones around, like outside of like, your typical paparazzi.
Yeah.
And maybe paparazzi wasn't really on him like that because what are we selling the pictures to other than the pic?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as far as the encounters go, like it doesn't necessarily mean he had to look complete. You know what I'm saying? He just put his quarter in the slot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He didn't say he beat the game every time, but like, the sampling.
Even 20,000 encounters. Like, I don't know how was holding hands an encounter? Is making out an encounter? Or does it have to get a little like, are we rounding second base as an encounter?
If we try to fluff the stats, then sure. Like, show me areola. We'll write that down.
Well, that's one.
Write it down. Like, she grazed it with her knee. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll write that down.
But here's my thing is like, I wouldn't count encounters then. You know what I'm saying? Like, my encounters are a lot higher than my kill list.
Okay, so if somebody groped you, would you consider that a sexual encounter?
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to say yes, but then there's also like my pride is kicking in where I'm like, nah.
Because like in comparison, let's say if you groped a woman and then she decided to sue you, you can go to jail for that. So it does count as a sexual encounter.
That's interesting.
At some level. So, we would love to have Wilt Chamberlain here on this couch.
Yeah.
Because we have questions. We do. He's still alive, right?
I think so. I think he's still alive.
Team, is Wilt Chamberlain still alive? I have a whole computer here. I guess I could have Googled that.
Also, this might be my favorite version of.
Oh, he died in '99.
Oh man.
Probably from having sex with 20,000 women.
Syphilis took him out.
Yeah, quietly.
Quietly, yeah. Just 2 years after that interview, we lost the greatest player the game has ever known. Also, my favorite Shaq is conspiracy theory defeater Shaq, who's like, I'll run the numbers on you. Like, I want Shaq to solve all the mysteries in the world.
He should be the new host of Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
Just imagine tall ass Shaq coming out of an alley like how Robert Stack used to back in the day.
Yeah.
What's up, everyone? Well, listen, man, moving on. A video of Rosie Perez on our friend Mike Tyson's podcast, Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson's making its rounds again because Rosie brought up a time when Mike saved her sister Sally back in the day. Check it out.
Do you remember that time we was in a club and this guy pulled a gun out on my sister Sally? and you, I didn't know what to do, right? Everybody was like freaking out, and he was standing out. It was at Red Zone. It was at Red Zone.
We're Parrot Red Zone.
Red Zone. And it was Puffy night, and I go climb up the stairs. I see Mike. I don't know why I said, get Mike Tyson. The guy has a gun. I go, get Mike Tyson in my head. So I go up there, and I said, Mike, look down there. The guy pulled a gun on my sister because she wouldn't dance with him, and you went, let me go talk to him. And you went right down to him, went up to him, like this, his gun, like put like this, your finger, like if you have a gun, right? You went, then Mike went, come on. That was it. And then the bodyguards came in and threw the guy out.
I used to be crazy when I was younger.
Oh my gosh.
Holy
that was.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Only Mike Tyson could just walk up and be like, come on.
Yo, the gun was probably scared of Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? And the overall of it. Yo, like, there's so many crazy New York Mike Tyson stories that people have been telling on podcast. And then, like, eventually, like, he gets to, like, interview these people at some point or another, or other way around. And then, like, they go even deeper. Like the stories be really even crazier than, because if she would have said that without Mike standing there, it'd be like, really? But like the fact that Mike was there to verify it is like, wow.
Yeah, and the fact that he was like, I used to be crazier when I was younger. Like, yeah, Mike, we all know. We remember. we were there.
Very well documented, the craziness of that era.
Yeah.
And also want to take this time to point out that I love Rosie Perez, like with my whole heart. She doesn't wash her hair. And when I say she doesn't wash her hair, she doesn't wash it with shampoo. She washes it with conditioner only.
Conditioner
She only conditions her hair, yeah.
Oh.
She told me that personally.
Oh.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. Shout out to Rosie. Hey, Rosie.
Hey, Rosie, what's going on?
Boxing enthusiast she is.
I know, right? Bang, bang, bang. Okay, moving on. During the Every Single Album podcast, Miley Cyrus revealed how she lied to her accountant to cover up how much money she was really spending on drugs. This is all while doing her 2015 album, Miley Cyrus and Her Dead Pets, with a Z. She called them vintage clothes, and every time her accountant saw her, she'd be like, where's that $15,000 original John Lennon t-shirt that you bought? And Miley would say it's somewhere upstairs or there was away in storage, because evidently they were really delicate, quote unquote, the shirts that she was buying, not the drugs.
That was well thought of, though.
Yeah.
Because when you think of, things that you could write off as, itemize it.
Right.
You can't really put a price on vintage clothes because it's a sliding scale.
That's true.
And no one will question that.
It's like a piece of art. It's worth whatever you pay for it.
Yeah. What kind of vintage clothes do you think she was into?
I feel like Miley Cyrus might have had a very expensive vintage clothes problem for a little while.
Do you think it was during that time where she was walking around looking like a naked chicken, dancing with Robin Thicke?
Yeah.
You think that was during that time?
Yeah.
Not during well, I know they said Miley Cyrus and My Dead Pet, which was a great album, by the way. I think that was the one that only came out on SoundCloud at first. Great album.
Yeah.
There was a little unhinged period in her career, and I guess this makes sense.
Yeah. If this, am I shocked? No. It checks all the boxes. Former Disney star. Transitioned into adult pop star, twerking on stage in the pink suit with Robin Thicke, and also a voice that has gotten really far down here for some reason.
Her and Kathleen Turner got the same, excuse me, sir, voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I bet you when she go through a drive-thru, be like, is that all, sir?
Anything else for you, Pops?
So if somebody questioned, just say if you had a thing that you spend wild money on and you had to rename it something, what would you code name it with?
Perhaps I would say these were my research studies. I do a lot of research.
Fair enough.
I'm not sure if that would cover it or not.
Cool. I would say, I use this to buy extra lives in Royal Castle.
Oh, okay.
So it was gel, the color matching games, and and cool stuff happens when you get 4 in a row. And sometimes when you run out of hearts, you gotta spend more money.
Also, come on, that accountant's a little nosy.
Just a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? I have an accountant, but you know what he's never done? Called me and be like, bro, what are you doing? And I've never, maybe we need an accountant like that who's like, hey, you need to dial it back a little bit. And I'm like, but I'm snorting this vintage John Lennon t-shirt.
Depends how much research you were doing.
Doing a lot of research here. Okay.
I'm studying the Belushi course.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm taking the Belushi online course. High level of enthusiasm.
Man, well, we off to the break, man. But when we come back, is Diddy laughing all the way to the bank even though he's on trial? And Phaedra Park's sons travel in style. We got deets in 2 minutes. Welcome back.
Hey.
Now, Sean P. Diddy, Brother Love Combs might still be behind bars, but that isn't stopping him from getting to the shmoney. Now, Diddy has reportedly been raking in millions by renting out his private jet to wealthy individuals. Now, according to the U.S. Sun, Diddy has earned $4.1 million by renting out his $60 million Gulfstream G550 known as Love Air. Ooh. Now, the jet has supposedly been rented out 126 times from September until last week, flying nearly 150,000 miles. A single venture on the Love Air costs about $32,000, and that's per 1,186-mile trek. And I also heard it had unlimited baby oil.
Really?
There's a rumor.
There's rumor.
Rumor,
yeah. Do you think, would it? I almost wish we could get Sincerely here to ask her about it, because she does the private jet chartering. Oh. Remember, that's like her business. But I do wonder, do you pay extra or do you pay less to fly on Diddy's plane?
Right. And also, do you kind of keep it on a hush-hush? Because some people don't want to support certain people because of who they are, right? And then some people want the jet because it's the freak jet.
Oh, dang, that's the other thing is if let's say you're sitting on a jet, you're just enjoying your comfortable plush life on your private jet. You don't even know whose jet it is because you're a mega millionaire and you don't even care. And then you find out it's Puff Daddy's jet. Don't you know that every single seat of that private jet has been to the Mile High Club?
Oh, absolutely. And then you're wondering why you were slipping off the seat so easily because Naked Cheek has been on said seat.
Yeah, exactly.
All greased down.
Why does it smell like coconut in here?
Oh man, maybe somebody had cocoa butter, before they got on the plane.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know, if I could get a discount on a Lolo or Groupon that thing out, maybe me and 10 of my closest people, we all rent, go half on it, or 32s on it. Or 10, it's too late in the day for this kind of math.
Yeah, $32,000?
Yeah, divided by 10, that was $320 per. No, that's still
$3,200.
Okay,
yeah.
That makes it fair.
3,000?
But I want to go as far as that 1,000. I'm gonna point in a direction that it really makes sense.
I'm flying to Alaska. It's funny too because there's a part of me that's he's gonna want that jet on standby.
Yeah.
If he wasn't in custody, because they made him a flight risk, right?
Yeah, they did.
I remember that being a part of it when he was they were coming to pick him up, I think in Florida, and that's where his jet was. And there was a hot minute where I thought he was going to leave, dude. I thought he's not going to hang around for this.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go to Bali.
Yeah. Hang out with
where everybody else go kick it at.
Yeah.
Hey man, I got the oil. So
I'm here, the oil man.
Stretch.
Do you think? I wonder. Puffy's never going to write a tell-all book,
but he should.
But I wonder if Cassie would ever admit if there were freak-offs that happened in that plane.
And the crazy, as transparent as everybody been on trial, it is shocking that, I think the biggest takeaway that's been shocking to me is that freak-offs, despite what we thought they all consisted of when we started doing this show, because we kind of have the same birth date. His arrest and this show kind of are about a month apart. I thought it was going to be all these other big names, but usually freak-offs consist of 3 people. 2 people who are active and 1 person in a corner being weird about it. Yeah.
They weren't, they were definitely very freaky, but I would almost describe them as more cuckold adjacent than I would freak off.
Absolutely. Yeah, freak off was it allows your mind to race and think it was something crazier than it really was.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking Martha Stewart is out there topless with a little tray with hors d'oeuvres, offering people stuff, and then you got dirty money, dirtying the money up. You know what I'm saying? But nah, was none of that. It was just Diddy with a mask on.
Oh my gosh.
No pants.
No pants. 1,000% chance that has happened on this plane. People are flying around on this plane without even knowing.
Yeah, and just imagine a pilot, man. You kind of want to put it on auto and be hey, what's going on back there?
Yeah.
But you can't because you got a job to do.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Do you think? Wait. Quick side note. Which plane do you think got more business done on it? And I mean smash business.
Okay.
The official Playboy jet. Remember that one back in the day?
No.
Yeah, Playboy had a black jet, kind of like that one, but the bunny emblem was on the side of it.
Okay.
And then there's Puffy's Love Air.
Yeah. I mean, Hef had a longer run.
That's true.
And if you visualize Hef, right?
Yeah.
Never really wearing clothes, always a robe.
Yeah.
Easy access for the old man. I definitely think, I think Hef and his Playboy jet probably got way more run.
Yeah.
Way more run. And probably also under these circumstances of today's metrics in which people go to jail for things, probably would have been on trial too if he lived just a little bit longer.
Yeah, someone was going to bring him down.
Yeah, somebody.
For sure. I hope that plane got a deep cleaning before anyone got on it.
Don't bring a blue light.
Do not bring a blue light to Love Air.
Like everything's moving.
All right, moving on. Guys, Phaedra Parks Phaedra's got some major coin, and she is not afraid to spend it, all right? She sat down with people, and she showed receipts of how she spends her money and how her and her sons travel.
I always fly first class or private. Okay, so I have a ticket for Aiden, and that ticket was $2,767.97. One for my youngest son, Dylan, $2,767.97. And one for myself, $2,767.97. I would never put my children in coaching. If I'm in first class, my children will definitely be in first class. I think that's in poor taste to travel in first class and make your kids fly and coach. What does that say about you as a parent? I didn't.
I mean, teach his own.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah?
Yeah, to each his own. Like, my kids ain't flying in first class.
Yeah.
Like, if I get it, because I don't even like paying for first class, and I've done it on numerous occasions.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just on a plane first. Some places don't even have the right to say that you have a first class.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, American. You're just in the front.
Yeah.
And maybe they pumped it up a little bit. And I know sometimes they offer more things based on where you're going, but nothing is better than like a coast-to-coast flight on Delta. First class, when they put you in little pods, they go all the way back. Now that's hard body, it's worth the cost of admission.
Yeah.
But we all gonna take off and land at the same time.
Right.
And if I get upgraded to first class, and my kids who are old enough to be okay with just the TV and the headrest, they're in the back, they're gonna be all right.
They're gonna be just fine.
Because we're gonna land at the same time.
Sure are.
And you know where the fun is at? Where we're going. not on a plane. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't need that
it's
wine.
Just an uncomfortable movie theater for a kid for a little while.
Yeah.
A small screen. Let me put everybody watching on a little bit of game here. What you want to get, let me make sure. What you want to get is you want to get a Sky Miles card.
Let's go double dragon.
Okay, let's go
double dragon. You know what I'm saying?
So the reason that I love the Sky Miles card is because I almost never ever buy like a first class ticket, but I get upgraded.
Yo, they bump
frequently.
you up so often.
Yeah, that's the tip right there. Is like to run. First off, get yourself a credit card with good points, with a good point system, and pay it off every single month. Don't mess around and get in a bunch of credit card debt. But if you get the Sky Miles thing, it'll roll you up. Like I hit like silver medallion, and I've hit gold medallion status just from regular purchases because it adds up all year, and then I get bumped up to first class.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough to add on to what Sandy's saying. If you fly more than once a year, whatever airline you fly the most with, or every airline you fly with, sign up for their rewards programs because those things add up. And then you get to go to the Sky Club. I mean, I barely get to the airport in time to make the actual flight, so I never have Sky Club time. But them Sky Clubs be lit. Like,
I love a Sky Club. Here's the thing, it's like, so that particular card, the purple card that HK and I both have, I think it has like a $500 a year
premium
fee.
You got pay.
Well, so that's like out of your pocket right out the gate. But it gets you access to the Sky Clubs. And if you fly with any sort of frequency whatsoever, the free food in the Sky Clubs will pay for that $500 in a year easy.
Let me tell you something. First time I went to the Sky Club, Portia took me. Shout out to Portia. Because I would always I'm not paying extra for that.
Yeah.
Yo, I went in there, we had full Haagen-Dazs bars. Like, and they was like, take more. And I'm like, I can have 2 Haagen-Dazs bars? And then they had like unlimited soups and all types of stuff. So like from that point on, I was hooked and I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to get to that status where you can just go because you're there.
Here's the other thing too about Phaedra is I'm sure that she travels a lot for fun, for leisure, but something tells me she also travels a whole lot for work.
Yeah.
And if her kids are coming with her and she's traveling for work, that's a write-off.
True. And when you look at it through those lenses, it's like, all right, cool, round them up, put them in the mix, and it works out, man.
Yeah.
One person who's also probably flowed international to Newark is Snooki, because she's from Jersey, right? She had an emotional moment on the MTV reunion series Jersey Shore Family Vacation. She discovered the real reason that she was put up for adoption as an infant while speaking to her birth mother for the first time. Wow. Here's that moment.
Yeah. She say when she realized that she was pregnant, she told to her partner, then your father, and he just disappeared, leaving her by herself. So
that is terrible.
She didn't have any like support at that moment. So that was the only option that she had. Even was painful. She had to let you go.
Stop.
Oh, that poor woman.
I think to stay back.
I think you should
Be like,
it was the best decision you ever made.
like I have such an amazing life. Wait, what they say?
Wants to know if you are angry with her because what she did.
What a sin! Stop! This poor woman.
Why is she communicating with her mother on AOL Instant Messenger?
Yeah, that was a little strange. Yeah, evidently the woman was in another country, but we still, we still got Zoom and FaceTime.
Yeah, unless for whatever reason in the country that you're in, they banned it.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But also, man, like, are you mad at me for doing that thing that I had to do? Like, oof.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Because, like, I don't know how many people you know that are adopted, but.
Just a small handful.
So I got a friend, and when he was born, his mother threw him in the trash.
Oh, my God.
And somebody happened to find him in the dumpster at the apartment complex he's in. And he's been like on this never-ending search to like find his, like, his birth parents, and like he's pretty close if he hasn't like nailed it down already. And and even in a situation like that where like somebody left him to die, you don't hate his parents. And he's like, yo, whatever was going on at that time to where they felt like that's what they had to do. That's what they had to do. But like, everybody kind of carries that differently. And I'm glad that Snooki was able to at least in any size, shape, or form get in touch with her people.
Yeah.
And anybody out there who's going through that, like, just know, hey, listen, God gave you a second chance with whoever your new family is, or whatever the situation is. And, sometimes, parents ain't as ready as they thought they were.
Yeah.
Or whatever the situation may be, but just know you here for a reason.
Well, and that was the other thing, is she started talking about, like, it sounded like she was about to get into, is like the fact that her birth mother decided to give her up was the best thing that could have happened to her. It sounds like she's obviously very sort of like thankful for her life. And the other thing is, like, people forget, and this is just kind of like piggybacking off of what you're talking about, man, your parents are doing this for the first time too.
Yeah.
They don't, as a child, we like to think that mom and dad got it all figured out, but they don't.
Yeah.
They're literally just doing it for the first time too. And so it's like, it's amazing that your buddy, even in like coming up through that sort of circumstance, has the ability to give them that grace.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that says a lot about him.
The wild part too is like when you think about like how old, like when you think about the age that somebody were when they became a parent and what you were doing at that age, is like, I don't even know how I pulled it off, man. But
I tell you what, man, like when I hit my father's age when he had me, and I was just thinking about the stupid stuff that I was doing and the like selfish things that I wanted in my life, and I realized, like, oh no, here this man is like, no matter who you are, at some point or another, you have friction with your parents because you're a kid or you're a teenager and they don't understand and they don't want this from me or whatever it is. And sometimes you hold on to those. And then I got to be the age that my dad was when he had me, and I was like, oh no, I didn't have this figured out.
Yeah, kudos to all the parents out there who thugged it out, man.
Even the ones making the hard decisions.
Yo, we running a break, man. When we come back, we hitting you with the craziest prenup request ever, an agenda reveal in the friendly skies, and we run into the comments. See you in dose.
Welcome back. All right, there's been there's been a lot of talk about prenups these days, and on an episode of the Diary of a CEO podcast, New York City divorce lawyer James J. Sexton reveals the craziest thing a client ever put in their prenup, and let's just say this is pretty heavy. Take a look.
The most shocking prenup I've ever seen, which was enforceable, had a provision that said that for every 10 pounds the wife gained in the marriage, she would lose $10,000 a month in alimony. He was very concerned that she was going to become less attractive and he was going to become more wealthy. So his solution to this was in the prenuptial agreement, he wanted a clause that said if they divorced, she was going to get like $70,000 a month for alimony. But for every 10 pounds she gained from the date of marriage, she would forfeit $10,000 a month worth of alimony. And it was designed to sort of create an incentive that she would remain thin. And that was enforceable, meaning they tried to challenge and set aside that provision. And the court said, this is a disgusting provision. I don't know why you married this person, but it's enforceable. It's a contract. The two of you signed it, and you had a right to sign it, and you agreed to these rules, and they may be ridiculous rules, but you agreed to them.
Yeah. So okay, let's wait. Fair, not fair, gone too far. It seems extreme, but also they did get divorced.
Right.
So, I mean, like maybe this marriage was doomed from the beginning.
True. Guy seems a little superficial. Can I turn my dirtbag hat?
Please, that dirtbag hat around? Okay, we can do this, yeah.
So if I was the guy, I'd have been like, hey, put those provisions in there, but it's not for vanity purposes, it's for health reasons. Because I've done some research in your family, and it seems like high blood pressure and diabetes runs down your lineage. And listen, we don't want you to get past a certain point because I want you to stay alive and be by my side for as long as you possibly can be, because health is the real money.
Yeah. The more you bro.
No, but that's cold though, you know.
Yeah, but here's my thing is like, did we hear how much she was gonna get in alimony a month? $70,000?
That's a lot of money.
$70,000 in alimony. So you gotta be marrying somebody with like, I don't know, 9 figures in the bank?
John Enron.
Yeah, right.
Rich dude.
You know, is it Jeff Bezos' prenup? What do we got going on here?
Yeah.
Because I also kind of feel like, and people can come for me on this, like, if you say yes to that in your prenup, I think you're going into it for the money. Like, like if that provision came to her and the person that she's sitting across from about to enter into a contract with, a marriage contract with, is so vain that like it's about your weight from the date of the wedding. Like if he's revealing himself to such a degree and you go, no, he's great, I still want to be with him. No, I'm not sure that I believe it.
Here's what I'll throw into the mix, and I'm not saying that I'm taking this guy's side. I promise I'm not taking this guy's side, but just putting him on the psychiatry couch.
Sure.
Maybe he knows what his triggers are, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a certain type of physique that he's attracted to, and like if you're making this kind of money, your options switch up. You are able to do more things. Like all the stuff you see in White Lotus, you're able to do that. I binged it.
Yeah, you can Wilt Chamberlain it up.
Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain it up. So you want to make sure that thing that you're coming home to, I don't mean thing, but the situation that you're returning home to is something that he's still visually attracted to. And so his eyes and his mind don't wander, because some people are weaker than others. So y'all got to meet in the middle, go to the gym together, get the same membership. You got money, meal prep. Figure it out. But I wish you the best of luck.
Yep, good luck.
Well, moving on, sky's the limit when it comes to gender reveals these days, and an expected couple took this quite literally while on a flight to Paris. Now, parents-to-be, Katrin and Anton, teamed up with Play Airlines to pull off a mid-flight surprise gender reveal party. Peep it.
Dear passengers, you already know you're on a flight to Paris, but this isn't just any flight. In fact, this might be the first time in history that someone finds out the gender of their baby somewhere over the North Atlantic. And it's a boy.
Wow.
Huge congrats to our lovely couple. And yes, of course, we have a cake for everyone on board, because no one should have to watch the gender reveal empty-handed.
Well, that was well executed.
Okay, I was prepared to be like grumpy about it, and then they gave everybody cake.
Yeah. Like, how can you be mad when cake is being served?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you think they would have done if this was like on Spirit Airlines?
I have no idea.
Like, they'd have been like, yo, everybody get a bag of Ruffles.
It's an open bag. It's like one chip. Everybody gets one chip.
But the chips would be colored on the inside. You know what I mean? And like, oh, pink chips, that means it's a boy.
I'm starting like
girl.
And I don't know. Like, I'm starting to get over the gender reveal thing. Like, how many different ways can we do this? Do we have to involve other people who are just on a flight to Paris?
Right, because like you giving that cake on that plane may have put somebody past their weight requirements to stay within their alimony and
I was about to say
and prenup situation.
Right, yeah, the prenup situation got screwed because you want to do a gender reveal at 30,000 feet.
Yeah, like I mean, like they are getting wilder and wilder, and I do like the fact that people are just trying so many different things that like just when you thought you seen it all, you see something new.
Yeah,
and to get that many people, no pun intended, on board with that.
Right, yeah.
You know, because like the airline don't just be having cake.
That's true.
You had to run that through check-in.
Prepare that,
and make sure nobody dropped it on the way from the cake place.
It's a whole lot better than when the girl was singing Moana on the plane.
Way better.
I'll take a gender reveal over some girl or some boy singing over the intercom. All right, moving on. It's time to run to the comments. So this video's gone viral, and it's of a woman who thought she moved into a, quote, good neighborhood, being approached by another woman trying to collect funds for services rendered to her man. Oh, no, what?
What the hell is this? Hello. Yes, I may help you.
I'm just here to get my $15.
$15 from who?
Your man.
Honey, what man are you talking about?
The one with the bald head. I was here last week.
Honey, I don't know anything about that. You have the wrong place of residence.
He paid me $50 for my services, but he shorted me $15. He told me to come back today.
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about that, ma'am. There's not a man that even lives here. Are you sure you have the right house?
You just mad because he don't want you and he want me.
Oh, my. I hope he don't want your ass.
Please, all this?
What?
I'm ready to whoop your ass. Who you talking to?
Get your ass out my damn yard, you damn.
Who you talking to?
Get your damn ass out my yard.
No.
What?
Damn.
Tear your ass up. Who's dog?
Get your ass out my yard.
What in the world?
Oh man, I haven't seen acting as bad since the first Dolomite film. We don't know if we know it's a skit. It is clearly a skit.
It has to be a skit,
Because
right?
who's just conveniently just recording people as they walk up to their house from down the street?
That's my thing, is the camera just too conveniently out there.
Yeah, out already. And like usually if you know the beef is on, you're gonna put the phone down. And most of the video is gonna be done from like a face down phone perspective. Right. Where you can still hear audio and a little bit of scuffling. Yeah. But the comments on this situation did not disappoint. Somebody said she creeped in like the Hamburglar. And another person says she moving slowly and quickly all at once.
Another person commented, the birds are shady, while someone else said, I need 15 episodes of this. I would watch multiple episodes.
Facts. Somebody else commented, this was the calmest scuffle ever. While another person said, the zoom into her lowercase legs underneath her uppercase body took me out.
Oh, no, her lowercase legs underneath her uppercase body?
I mean, like, if everybody had a support system as strong as this woman's legs, we'd all be what we want to be in life.
Here's the only, like, I do believe it was probably a skit and probably set up, but to zoom in on your friend's legs where they're like touching in down here and then zoom out, like, you're kind of doing your friend dirty at that point.
Oh, yeah, no, she set up for the ultimate failure, man.
Ultimate failure, all right.
How would y'all react? Let us know in the comments.
I also like that shirt. Wine is my Valentine. All of this. All of this. All right, we got more side dish after the break. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Welcome back. So Reddit is in ruins again, and this time it's over a birthday dinner that left one pescatarian attendee with beef. So a woman flew into San Francisco for a friend's birthday party, but refused to split the bill after someone at the table took it upon themselves to order everything family style without asking a single solitary dietary preference.
Okay, all right. I'm starting to come around on this one. Even though the woman is a pescatarian who does not drink, the table was full of red meat and the cocktails were flowing. She only ate about $40 worth of food, but the bill was over $1,000 for 10 people. And get this, a few days later, the birthday girl asked her to contribute $150 towards the bill. Now, they settled on $100, but the pissed off pescatarian was not pleased.
That is rough, man. I remember one time I went to a party I got invited to a coworker's birthday party, and I bought a gift, and because I don't like to go up anywhere empty-handed.
Sure.
We ate at a very expensive dinner at Rumi's. It's a great place. And a couple days later, I got a Cash App request for like a weird amount of money, and I'm like, all right, well, if you sent this to everybody, I guess I'll pay. But I thought, you invited us to this dinner, and sometimes you gotta be transparent as to what the wants and the needs are, because people would move differently.
That's 100% correct. You gotta over-communicate a little these days.
Yeah, because I felt jumped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to hit me almost 7 days after, I've digested this food at this point. It's gone. It's not in me no more.
Yeah. Also, and I get it. If I'm the pescatarian, I'm a pescatarian and I don't drink, and people got steaks and they got wine and they got cocktails, I would start to get anxious at that point in time because I know I'm not eating anywhere near as much money as the rest of the table is.
Yeah.
So it's also one of those things that's also a little bit on you, where it's if you're the person there, you could have spoken to the waiter and asked to have yours cut out separately and paid separately.
You know what? That is fair. Because there truly wasn't anything in that situation that was for you.
Yeah.
And but sometimes depending on who it is, what it's for, everybody just takes the L and just splits the dinner down the middle.
Yeah.
But not everybody got it like that. So I totally understand their frustration, especially if you didn't get nothing.
Right.
Not even a dinner roll.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah. I feel
Muy
bad.
simpático.
I feel bad for the hangry pescatarian.
Yeah, I got a friend who's a pescatarian. He used to complicate everything every time we go through the drive-thru.
Where they only eat fish?
Only eat fish, or sometimes they'll just yo, let me get a Whopper, but take the meat off.
Oh.
And I'm like, you still gonna pay the Whopper price, fam.
Right, you're paying beef money.
Yeah, just eat it.
For no beef burger.
Or not, Everybody's digestive system is
Also, what's the deal with being a pescatarian? Is it just you think fish are more worthy of being eaten than cows and chickens?
Well, some people do it for religious regions. So I think my homie is a 7-day Adventist.
Okay.
And I think their whole thing is they only eat fish because that's what God and them was eating. Well, Jesus and them was eating back
fish
in the
and
day.
loaves.
Yeah, you didn't hear about them chopping up steak.
No.
Yeah, it was mostly we're gonna catch this fish, we're gonna make some bread, make some wine out of water. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I can get down with that.
Man, just imagine if Jesus was in jail, because people be making that jail wine.
Yeah.
Just imagine if you I got y'all. Hold it down, cell block 4.
That would have been a miracle.
We need a new miracle.
We need a new miracle. All right, after the break, it's time for everybody's favorite game.
Whose cousin is it?
See you guys in 2 minutes. Welcome back. All right, it's that time for everybody's favorite game.
Whose cousin is it?
Okay, it's just us, so we're going to get right down to business. All right. When door dashing without cash tipping goes wrong, so a delivery driver in Vancouver, Washington, this feels Caucasian, pulled up the day after a delivery, strapped and salty, demanding that cash tip.
Yo, he thought about that all night. All right, so the father of the daughter who ordered the delivery was having a nice breakfast with his grandkids. Next thing he knows, here comes DoorDash dude, drunk as a skunk, banging on his door, talk about, run me my tip.
The daughter told the man she already tipped him in the app, but he was hell-bent on getting that cold hard cash, and when her dad asked him to leave, the two got into a scuffle, and that's when he realized the DoorDasher was strict.
Now, the customer's pop said, not on my watch, and he went full-on action hero mode and snatched the gun from the DoorDasher, pushed him onto the ground, and emptied the clip safely, meaning he dumped the bullets. He didn't, like, pump them into him. Now, the boozy DoorDasher was booked and hit with felony harassment, DUI, and assault.
Dang, okay, whose cousin is it?
Okay, so I've never heard of Vancouver, Washington. So as soon as you said Vancouver, I'm like, all right, Drake cousin.
Canada, yeah.
Yeah, let's go. That's interesting.
Vancouver, Washington.
And we do hold on to things very tight and, you know, in our demographic, like we won't let things go. I felt like that could be us. What makes it think it's your cousin?
I feel like I just like Washington, right? That's way up in the Northwest.
Yes.
When I think about the Northwest people, I feel like it's mostly my cousins up there.
Yeah, it's your cousins and then like Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Okay.
He's from Seattle.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
My posse's on Broadway. Posse up. Yeah, and Bruce Lee is also buried there in Washington State. Seattle, yeah.
Okay.
Like I was shocked.
Okay.
I was super shocked. So, man, it's a mixed bag up there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I might have to jump out the window and say other.
Oh, I was about to lean on the other tip.
Yeah. I'm gonna go hardcore other.
Okay, there's a part of me that does feel like it's other. But also at the exact same time, HK, just deep down, anytime I don't say it's my cousin, I feel a little racist. And I'm not proud of myself.
Wait, when you don't say it's your cousin?
Yeah. Whenever I'm like...
You're projecting the crime onto others?
That's
like,
exactly what I'm
our
doing.
people would never.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm out here like, I do feel like this could be us, but then also I'm like, is it other?
Yo, because like I be reading the comments like after we do the show, right? And I be seeing like people be like, yo, Tanner, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
There's a part of me that feels like this could be other. There's another part of me that just feels like this is like my trailer trash cousin who moved up to the north and he just got a job door dashing for now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because like if someone pulled a gun on me and it told me to tell them like 5 Washington blacks and not DC,
yeah,
I'm out. Pow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But I have seen more others in Seattle than anything else. And
I know, and part of the thing is like, this is a weird bit of trivia, but I know that during, like for instance, the Vietnam War, as we were taking refugees, they got sent to the Northwest.
Oh, so we're going 9 Deaths of the Ninja Cousin?
Mm-hmm. Perhaps. I'm gonna say other.
Me too.
All right, you ready to do it?
As we do at this time.
Move that van!
Surprise.
Oh, yep, yeah.
Robert Delahunt.
Delahunt, just my grandpappy.
I'm gonna Google the origin of the last name Delahunt.
Delahunt.
What origin?
What kind
is
of plantation
Delahunt?
owner last name? Delahunt.
Oh, we have a video?
Oh, we got video?
Roll that beautiful beam footage.
Check it out.
Okay,
here we go.
Irish origins. Oh, man. Oh. Ooh.
Whoa.
A little push and mush. Oh, knocked his hat off. He needs the same hat T.I. has, because that hat wouldn't have fell off if T.I. got pushed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also hit him with the Liam Neeson's, emptied the clip in a safe manner.
The homeowner had a particular set of skills.
Pow, pow.
I like how his hat fell off.
Yeah.
I can watch that over and over again.
Yeah, what are you doing showing up drunk trying to ask for cash?
Yo,
You're
man.
lucky that old man didn't kill you.
Yo, unless you come from like that life, you can't just be rolling up with the blicky post 60. Your reflexes are too slow. Like, my man wasn't supposed to be able to do that to you.
No, yeah, that Liam Neeson, that's literally, an older man took that gun from him. Wow.
Better luck next time,
better
sir.
luck next time.
Well, shout out to all y'all in the chat who probably got it strong and wrong as we did.
Yep.
We're going to get better. We're gonna get better at our
Turns
crime
out
solving.
listen, my cousins are everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. Well, yo, man, don't forget to like, subscribe, tell others we out here. Hit record all if you're watching this on Fox Soul. Get ready for a scrolling with Jen and V, which is coming on right after this. And we'll rinse repeat. See y'all later.
Bye.
Cheers.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 9:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Hey, what's going on, Scroll Club? It is your girls, Jen and V, with Scrolling with Jen and V, and that's my girl,
Jen.
And I am Vigarize. And as always, we got a full packed dynamite for you guys tonight. So make sure you got those drinks ready and get ready to scroll and roll with your girls. Yes, indeedy. All right, I'm going to kick us off, Jen. But first, I got to mention the segment first, right? What am I doing? I'm so eager.
It's okay.
I'm so ready. I'm on
jump into
ready.
the videos. That's
all
how
right?
it be with us.
I'm telling you. All right, so what we got for them first, Jen? Relationship status. What's your relationship looking like? Are you married? You booed up?
Situationships.
Complications?